I've already walked most of this parade route, and people are excited, people are proud, and people are out here celebrating their tushes off. So let's talk to some folks about what Portland Pride means to them.
Yeah.
We're both a little spicy, so we gotta have the spicy one for sure. All right, Joshua, well, it's great. I'll see y'all later. I'm out of here. Cheeseburger pickle pie.
Yes.
Oh,
it couldn't be just a normal pie.
Absolutely, it has to be a little bit weird, right, Sleestack? Yeah, I understand. We're gonna keep dancing. We'll meet you back at the bar. I gotta win this one. Charisma, you always keep the energy. I've seen you before, bro. You rock it. So tell me about how lively and entertaining this performance is.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Right?
We're
I'm
the
happy to
worst
be here.
people to give dating advice, but we're gonna do it. Do you want to know how this segment works?
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked because you're forced to do it. Love it. And when you're trying the whiskeys here, you can also try the beer if that's a little bit more your style and the different blends. And you can do that with the taster trays like the one behind us. There is so much to get excited about when it comes to the itty bitty end. Now, Disco Rick, I think we need to get a little disco-y. And for more information and to book your stay, go to ittybittyinn.com. We will be right back after this. I will never forget that speech in the student council trial during Animal House. Real quick. And if the whole fraternity system is guilty, then isn't this an indictment of our educational institutions in general? My gosh, girl, and you got the title, you better work. So your debut was back in 2021, and since then your career has skyrocketed. I'm here at Al's Garden and home with Judy Alaruzo and Mark Biggie. We are on round 2 of Plant Madness, and our returning competitors are the African Violet versus the Monstera. Let's start out with the African Violet. How is it going to continue this stamina throughout the competition? Now let's move on to the victors, the Oregon Ducks. One of the biggest concerns for the Ducks this season is their offense, and boy, did the Ducks get it together for their showdown in Corvallis. The Ducks mainly stayed with one offensive line rotation. Blazers go 1-4 on their road trip. They'll come home next to host the Kings on Friday night for an NBA Cup game. Now, folks, we are less than 48 hours away from the start of the OSAA football championships at Hillsborough Stadium. Kicking off Black Friday, we have the top 2 seeds in 6A squaring off. That is West Lynn and Lake Oswego. So we have a lot of takeaways to talk about today. Let's just dive into it with a dominant performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, come on. Jalen Hurts winning MVP. We got to look at these numbers. He went 17 for 22 in the passing game. Speaking of what you mentioned about having 8 teams to become an FBS conference. There are 2 spots open specifically for the Pac-12 after these 4 editions. What are your kind of projections for who could fill those spots? Because I've seen a lot of chatter online that maybe it could be 2 schools that were formerly in the Pac-12 that might be facing some real travel costs down the road. Hey folks, welcome back. We have a special surprise for Oregon Duck fans today. The Oregon NIL groups Ducks of a Feather and Division Street are releasing their own podcast today, and they have Oregon legends Jonathan Stewart and Kenjon Barner as the hosts. And I got to chat with the former running backs about the upcoming season in this exclusive interview, so check it out. This is Oregon's first season in the Big Ten. It's going to be a big one. What is your perspective on this team kind of going into this season? Fall camp recently wrapped up. What's your thoughts on this squad? Oregon is playing Ohio State on October 12th in Eugene, and someone that you have played under is going to be the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. That is Chip Kelly. What are your thoughts on that upcoming matchup, given that Oregon will be playing against your former head coach? I also wanted to move on to the defense for Penn State because that's really where the Nittany Lions shine, especially with Abdul Carter, who is an edge for the team. He's going to be an NFL draft big pick coming up for this year. He's got 54 tackles on the season, 10 sacks, 2 versus the recent 44-7 win versus Maryland. He has 2 forced fumbles, and he has 19.5 tackles for loss. 10 of those tackles for loss are sacks. So you know that Carter has Dylan Gabriel's number for this entire game. And one of the things with Dylan Gabriel is he is a short passer. He's not that good with mid-range or deep balls. Versus Wisconsin, he was pressured a lot, so that really impacted his accuracy in mid-range to deep range. What does Abdul Carter need to do to really get in the mind of Dylan Gabriel? Because this is basically a game of Oregon's offensive line versus Abdul Carter.